Welcome back to another episode of All or Nothing in Real Estate. I'm your host, Matt Smith, the founder of All or Nothing in Real Estate. As a reminder, this podcast is a movement to give back to this amazing industry that's given so much to me and my family. Guys, today I'm actually at an event. I'm getting ready to hit the stage at Elevate in Phoenix, and I wanted to make sure we give you value. One of the common themes at these events that I've been at has been marketing is everything. And so we've talked about marketing many times over the years on the show. So we're giving you a marketing mashup of all the ins and outs of marketing, because in today's market, the best marketer wins. I hope you enjoy. Events and really dove into our marketing department. So I wanted you guys to hear it from two different perspectives of what's really working for our business, and honestly what I'm stealing from Jenna's brain and giving to some of my coaching clients that's working really, really well, and how that's coincided with our 3 recruiting funnels and just a lot of things that we have going on that we have learned in the marketing space. One of the things I learned really early on in this business is that most agents, I love you guys, but you suck at marketing. And so I think this will be relevant for the brand new agent, the very high producing agent, the team leader, agent on a team. We're going to cover most things marketing and real estate and go super in depth on what is really, really working in today's space. So without further ado, Jenna, take it away.
Yeah. I think I'll start with one of the things that I think I see the most as a mistake that people make when it comes to marketing is just overthinking it. One of the things I'll get asked, and I'm sure you get asked too, is what the heck do I post? You know, what do I do? What do I email? What do I do as ads and all that stuff? And usually if somebody asks me that or asks you that, my first response is usually, if you're asking this question, then you're already overthinking it, because there's so much content out there. And I think the more that you can start having the eyes for that content, start seeing it, the easier it becomes, the less processed your marketing becomes, and the more human it becomes.
Yeah, like it reminds me of I love quotes, right? But the best ad doesn't look or feel like an ad, right? And so if you take that concept and you understand that super in depth, I think a lot of people are like, hey, what's your perfect content calendar? And no disrespect to anyone that does this, but if you're one of those online gurus that sells their social media content calendar, you're just in it to make money, because it doesn't impact the agent's business. It doesn't impact their audience. It's just filler. Yeah. And I think we found ourselves in that rut for a while, right? Yeah. Like we would create our content in advance, and there are certain things you need to have processes for. Like when you get a new listing, post the damn new listing. When you do a price reduction, post the price reduction, right? Like those basics, which I think we'll probably cover. But I think to Jenna's point of like, stop overthinking it, is the best marketing is like living in the moment, right? And like, what is relevant today in my business that someone else can learn from, that someone else would find value on, that I could share that education that I just learned with someone else. And I think stop overthinking it, stop relying on AI to generate everything for you. Be real, be authentic, be you, be genuine, and provide value. And if you just really focus on those things, like you really can't go wrong.
Yeah, exactly. I think, and just to be honest, like I'm definitely a person. I love organization. I love processes. I love systems.
God bless you, but you drive me nuts.
I love it. And so that content calendar, it was glued to me for a long time, because I thrive in structure. But what I realized is that you can't.
You have to feel sorry for Jenna, guys, if you're listening. She works with me very closely, and she thrives in structure.
Yeah.
Poor Jenna.
Yes, it's chaos, but I love it. And for me, what that content calendar ended up doing is it put our marketing into a box, and you really can't predict some things with real estate and your community. Like, one thing, to be transparent, we had just yesterday, a couple nights ago, a really massive storm come in and rip apart some businesses and some homes, do some damage.
It's terrible.
You can't predict that, and you can't predict and plan that in your marketing. And if your content calendar is so rigid that you can't be flexible for your community and for what the community's needs are, for what your agents' needs are, for what your audience's needs are, then you're not going to be relevant in your marketing at all.
Yeah, and I think that goes back to a principle in marketing that is really, really relatable to everyone, and it's called message to market match. does your message match what your market is thriving for? Can you enter the conversation that's going on in your ideal customer's head? And you can't do that a week in advance. You can't even do that a day in advance. Sometimes you can't do that an hour in advance. It's got to be in the moment. Like literally. So I'll do this for both my personal brand, my coaching stuff, but also for our real estate business. I will literally stop in the middle of the hallway and people are like, what are you doing? I'm like, give me 5. And I will just stop and I will brain dump whatever that thing is. And I will post it right then and then run away.
Yeah.
And it's because it's in the moment. I'm like, oh, that really stood out to me. Or I had a conversation with Jenna and Jenna had a really light bulb moment. I'm like, oh, there's other Jennas. I need to share this with more people. And I think if we just realize that we have so much marketing content available to us each and every day, if we just slow down and we realize and observe our surroundings and we see what is impactful to us. Let me use a real life example. If I'm an agent and I have a conversation with a seller, and I have a conversation with the seller that I overcome an objection, or I give them some education that really speaks to them, and I have a great conversation that sets an appointment, or whatever that may be in my day-to-day business, just slow down, stop, and record a video and tell that story. That content will relate to so many other homeowners and sellers that will outperform the best graphic you could create. It will outperform the best AI generated thing because it's real, it's authentic, it's genuine. And I promise you, if that person had an aha for it, there are more people that are in a similar situation with that person that will relate to that story if you're able to tell that story in your marketing.
Absolutely. People are craving for authenticity.
Yeah.
I just think, like, how many times, if I were to ask like everyone listening, raise your hand if you see an election ad, doesn't matter what side you're on, and it pops up on your screen or your TV and you're immediately like, bullshit. Like, that's the first thing you say is, this is bullshit.
Well, that's just politics in general.
It is. And so, but people are tired of that. People are tired of seeing bullshit in their news feeds, in their lives. They're craving for that authenticity, for someone who has some scruffs, who's willing to get vulnerable. Like,
ooh, that's a big one.
There's no perfect business out there. And I think what makes people relate to businesses and build that connection and that trust ultimately is when you're able to build, take down those perfectly constructed walls and get a little vulnerable with your audience and be real with them.
And I think coming from Jenna, that's huge, right? It's no wonder we've had so much progress in our marketing, because to have that breakthrough yourself with you being the structured person that you are is huge. And so there's a couple things that you shared: vulnerability. Be honest, be real, be raw, be authentic with your audience, right? Step number 1. Authenticity. Be you. Be unapologetically you. People will get to know you anyway. Yeah. And you want people to know and like you for the real you. So don't fake it. The fake it till you make it thing, it just doesn't work in anything in life.
Yeah.
I say face it till you make it, and tell them, you know what? I am a new agent. This is my first contract. But guess what? I've got a great team. I've got a great coach. I've got this. And because it's my first contract, I'm going to work even harder for you. Right? Like, then they'll have empathy for you. It's just too many people there's just so much bullshit in today's world. There was something else that you said: vulnerability,
authenticity and trust.
Yeah. And authenticity. And those things build trust, because ultimately you want your audience. When we have to think about it from this perspective, and I say this all the time, in this business, we are privileged to help people with the biggest purchase or sale of their lives in most cases. Do you think trust is important in the agent that they choose? Do you think what's going on in the news and the media in today's world, they have lack of trust for real estate agents? I saw a graphic that showed real estate agents are like 2 steps above used car salesmen in the consumer's mind for trust. And it's because we hear all this advice of fake it till you make it. We have all this clickbait out there in this world that we live in. And I just choose to live in integrity and be authentic and be real and be genuine. And I tell people, I do videos that say, you know what? Now may not be a good time for you to buy or sell. But here's the real news. Here's the reality of what is going on and how it could affect your situation. You want to know more? Let's have a conversation. Because people want real and want authentic. And do you think that doesn't help build trust and authority score in our marketplace? Because how many salespeople will tell you, hey, Jenna, now's not a good time for you to sell. You should probably wait.
Yeah.
Right? But everybody wants that money now, and they want that commission breath, and they want that magic pill for marketing. Give me the magic content calendar. And are there certain things that are consistent? And are there themes that you can develop? And are there processes you can put in place to have consistency in your marketing? Sure. But I think where most people miss the mark is the authenticity. And like you said, the vulnerability, right? Like, just be real with your people. And I think that's where I said, like, in sales, so sales and marketing run very parallel.
Right.
And if you're in this business, you're in sales, but you also have to realize you're a marketer. And so how can you use the sales language and dialogue to market to more people so you can create more sales?
Yeah, and to be honest, I use, like, when we're doing our copywriting for different videos, for different, just whatever we do, I'm looking at scripts and I'm listening to conversations our agents are doing. So we're in alignment with what we're saying to our audience. And we're building off of each other too. So if I do something that happens to be good, then the agents might hear that and use that when they're speaking with a client. When I hear something that the agents do that, oh my gosh, that sounds really awesome, I'm going to take that and put it in my copywriting. So we're speaking the same language.
What did I ask you to do? I don't know, probably 60, 90 days ago.
To start joining the sales meetings.
Why did we have that conversation?
Because sales and marketing are, like you said, they're in alignment. We have to move and we have to speak the same language. And it would be really terrible if the agents and sales department, let's say they're doing, this new thing with, we did worry-free listing as one of our propositions that we have. And let's say they decided to do instant cash offer and marketing didn't know about it.
Yeah.
Like, we have to know and be on the same page so we can speak the same language. And for agents too, I can give them a leg up and help build that trust before they even talk to the client. And I can also get them some dope ass materials for when they're with the client and they have flyers and they have that marketing material that we're speaking the same language.
100%, because I think too many times agents, and myself, I'm guilty of this. I would rely on my skills, and I'm really good at winging things. And I'll figure it out when I get there. I'll figure out what the seller needs when I meet with the seller. But what if you could actually have a little things prepared? And what if you could actually visually storytell of what makes you different? In this marketplace, do you think marketing matters? In this marketplace, do you need to stand out? With everything that's going on in today's landscape of the real estate space, with all these changes coming in July, it is so important that you have your value and you're able to articulate the value. And one of the things that we've been building for years now is how can we show our audience value before they become our clients? And then when they have the conversation with us, they've already been introduced to these value propositions. They've already been introduced to the realities of the market. They've already been introduced to the education that we've been delivering, the information and updates on the marketplace. They've been introduced to the people in our organization because people want to work with people. And by the time that they come in the door, it's a slam dunk for our agents, right? Like, through our email marketing, through our social channels, through our online lead gen, because we have built a brand and built authority and built trust with our audience. And I think so many people miss that mark. Like, marketing isn't, hey, what's the post to get the most leads? Sure, there are ones that work better than others, but I'll tell you what works best over time is you are genuine, you are authentic, you post real content, and you provide things that are actually valuable to people. Like, what is happening in your business today? Because hopefully you're having conversations with consumers. And if you want to get more consumers, break down those conversations and what the ahas had. What were the lessons? What were the common themes you found yourself saying over and over? What were the lessons or the ahas those clients had or didn't have? What do you wish you would have done differently? What ahas did you have? Because you should be dissecting every single phone call. Afterwards, you should watch your game film and be like, shit, I wish I would have done that differently. Well, guess what? Do it differently on a video and you show it to more people. And then what is really, really cool, people overthink this stuff, right? And some people are gifted in writing, some people are gifted in video, some people are scared to death of both, right? The reality is we are trying to get face-to-face with more buyers and sellers every single day. Yeah. That's what you're trying to do in this business. So in a perfect world, these clients will see you, they will hear what you sound like, they will see what you look like, they will meet you face-to-face. So just show them that before they meet you. And then you will attract the right people anyway. And you'll have the clients that are in alignment with your vision, with your values, with who you are authentically yourself. And your business becomes way easier and way more successful.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the ways we did that, we really destructured, like, not just with the content schedule, but also with how we're presenting our team and how we're presenting who we are and what we're really talking about is our branding.
Yes.
Is building a really robust brand.
Well, let me interrupt really quick. There's a huge difference between marketing and branding. And I think branding is a part of marketing. But too many people think that I need to calculate ROI on all my marketing. And the best marketing, again, doesn't look or feel like marketing. And that is called branding. And what is your brand authority score? If you asked your audience, whoever your target avatar is, and you ask them, hey, if you were to sell your home tomorrow, who would you choose? What percentage of those people would say your brand? You cannot measure that, but you also, there's no ROI that's greater in business, right? Think about, like, here's a great example of branding, and love them, hate them, whatever. Let's talk about Starbucks. They sell beans and water. That's what they do.
Burnt beans and water.
Right? But they have built such a brand that there's a line everywhere you go, always. If they're open, there's a line out the door. In addition to that, we just had a newer Starbucks go in a couple years ago, and I had an aha moment when I saw it, because their sign that you can see from the interstate, their big $100,000 sign that they use for advertising, doesn't have any words on it. It has a fucking picture, and everybody knows that picture relates to Starbucks because of the brand they have built. When anyone thinks coffee, what do they think of? Starbucks. Yeah. When everyone thinks real estate, what do they think of? You want to be that person. Yeah. That's what building a brand does. Now, there is no ROI on it. You can't, well, I need to do this discount code so I can judge the return on investment. There is no return on investment. But I take that back. There is a return on investment. It's just you can't track it. But I promise you, if you just focus on while you're doing marketing, you're also building a brand alongside of it, the return on investment over the length of your career, there is nothing that will come close to it.
Yeah, and I think about the average time frame it takes to have a lead to convert that lead. I think it's like 15 months or a year and a half.
Depends on what study you look at, yeah. And 12 to 18 months on average.
But there's a whole time frame before they become a lead.
Sure.
That is not always thought about. That I think people are so quick to jump to that lead spot that there's this whole back end of getting them to know you, because you ask the question, if you ask them, who would you work with? Would they say you, but also would they even know you exist? Do they even know who you are? Are you omnipresent enough that that you're even on their radar? And that's something I think branding really gives a leg up for a lot of people. One thing we love to hear is, where did you hear about us? Oh, I've heard you're everywhere,
It's called omnipresence.
Perfect. That's what we want. We want to be so everywhere that you can't even track down the source of where we began.
You detail-oriented people, and I love you, and I'm glad that the world has you, but you drive me crazy. I'll call you bean counters that are like, well, I have to measure everything. You can't measure this. You just can't. But I would invite you to go through the mind space of if you are building a brand and a presence in your marketplace, that when you ask people, well, how'd you hear about us? And they say, I don't know, I just see you everywhere. There is no ROI better than that in business. And let me just give this real perspective. Like, this is proof of concept. Anything that we talk about isn't theory. This is proven. And Jenna's going to dive into the numbers of what this has done. We're going to go into email marketing, video content, everything that we've done. We'll get tactical here in a minute. But I think it's super important you understand, like, our real estate business, 2 years ago, we sold 776 houses, I believe. The year before that was 738. Or the year after that was 738. And then last year was 680 something. With just the market adjustments, et cetera. But one thing that didn't change is over 300 clients each of those years that we sold houses to or sold houses for reached out to us. They were our sphere of influence. They were our past clients. They came into us by calling our office and saying, I've heard good things. I want to work with you. Almost half of our sales. Well, Matt, you can't track the ROI. Give me one that's better. I don't have to pay $800 per lead to Zillow or whatever the hell, like, for those. No, don't get me wrong. We have those arms of our business because we're always growing. But, like, I just think so many people discount the importance of I used to sell radio, and I remember everyone said, how do you sell radio? Like, billboards work. I want to use billboards versus radio. I want to use this versus that. And a lot of the objections I got when I was introduced to that sales job was, well, we just work on word of mouth. And my pivot to that was, what if you could use word of mouth to 150,000 people through radio, right? Now, what if you can do that and you can spread positive word of mouth through your marketing that you do each and every day? Because every business is built on word of mouth. Yeah. Not just yours. Every successful business is built on word of mouth. Everyone knows a guy or a girl. Everyone looks for referrals. Everyone asks their friends, who should I use? And so how do you own the conversation when you're not there? Yeah. And that's where marketing takes a whole nother level. And that's what we really, really focus on. I think important part of that we've gotten wrong before, that we are adjusting course and getting way better at, is letting our avatar, our clients, our community see us as people. We're not just houses, not just listings, but who are we as people?
Yeah.
And behind the scenes of our team events that we do, we'll do like just random pictures of people having a call night, and we'll just share that, hey, we're proud of these agents. We'll do videos of them at events and their families, and just show them who they are as people. Because at the end of the day, I can talk about building a brand, and there's a reason that my face isn't on any of our branding here locally, is because I think the brand's bigger than me. And I think it represents something way more than one person. And what I love about that, though, is that we also are able to show the people behind the brand. And whenever you do that, everybody wins.
Yeah. Yeah, that was something, the beginning of this year, we made a lot of different strategies with our marketing and changed up a few things. And one of the things that we did in alignment with what you're speaking about, we kicked out most of our headshots for our agents. Like, we love them. They're great. You know, they're useful for some things, but it doesn't always showcase who your agent actually is. And so we would create, and it was also on a really rigid schedule too. So like every Friday we would do a team shout out, and it would be with the same template, with the same with, you know, a headshot of the agent. And it just felt so stiff, you know? And so what we really started doing is kicking out those headshots, taking more photos of our team in office, more videos of our team having fun, of agents doing different things, but also utilizing their own content, taking pictures that they have that they're proud of, and using that in our marketing. So it really gets people, it breaks it down. It showcases that vulnerability of, we're real people here. We're not this headshot's great and it's pretty and it's useful for a lot of things, but we're not this structured, well manicured, you know, person. We're real people with real feelings, and we are really passionate about what we do.
I love it. And one of the things that I was thinking earlier when I was on my last rant was that imagine being an agent looking for a team or a brokerage or a company to go work for. We talk about branding for the buyers and sellers, but we're all in the agent attraction business too. And do you want to be partnered with a brand that showcases their people, that is real, that is authentic, that's providing value to the marketplace? Let's dive into, say you're an agent that just does sphere of influence business. If you come in our organization and all you do is sphere of influence, by being in association with our systems, our process, our brand, who we are and what we represent, you will increase your sphere of influence business by at least 50%. Just by association. Like, I feel very confident saying that. Now, do we have lead generation? Do we have coaching? Absolutely. We have all of it, right? But I think that too many people discount that. The power of, yes, people are working with Jenna, right? They love Jenna. They want to work with Jenna. But they also know who Jenna's associated with. And they also know that the brand that Jenna is with is giving to the community or taking from the community. They know the brand that Jenna is with is giving them value, or they're not. They also know the brand that Jenna is with is hosting client events, or they're not. And like, let's talk about emails for a minute, right? Like, too many people sleep on emails. Our past client emails have seen significant increases because we focused on it. We have 55,000 people in our database as of this morning. And our email open rates are what, 40%?
40%, if not higher, yeah.
Think about that for a minute. Right? Like, and it's not like we send one email a month.
No, we sent 8 emails last week. That's more than an email a day.
At 40% open rate.
Yeah.
Because we're meeting our audience where they are. We're providing value. Now imagine being an agent that works for that team. Is that going to help you sell more real estate? They're engaging with the content that you're sending. They're saying, oh, this is good. Send me more. A lot of that content is educational, informational. It's community based. We are just connecting them to the things they want to be connected to.
Yeah, it reminds me, we did a video testimonial, this great guy in our community, and he was talking about, he grew up with some of our agents and worked with them. He sold 3 properties with us now. And one of the things he talked about was, you know, I already had a pre-existing relationship with, you know, Ryan and Eric and Kristen. I already had that, you know, but what blew me away and what set you apart was that when we got in that meeting, they still went through the buyer's presentation. They still like treated me like a client. They gave me the best service ever. And it just took it that extra step because of the things that we offer, the value that we bring. Like that does a lot for your sphere of influence, the trust you're building in the community.
I remember that conversation and we were both blown away. Like it was just amazing to just witness that someone had that experience with us. It's really cool. But I remember him talking about like the people behind the scenes. He gave credit to marketing, right? He gave credit to our photographers. He gave credit to our listing coordinators. He gave credit to our transaction coordinators. And he's like just everyone that was behind the scenes. And he mentioned some of them by name, right?
Yeah.
Like when's the last time a client gave a shout out on a video testimonial to one of your operations member by name? Right? Like that's valuable. That's tremendously valuable to the clients, the community, also to the agents.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to start with here's marketing on demonstration. If you're an agent listening, here's your hook. Real estate agents, we suck at marketing and we need to get better. In this episode, we're going to show you exactly how you can get better. So we're going to break down an absolute masterclass on how to present, how to market, how to develop an offer, how to create leads from Alex Hormozi. His book launch literally was a masterclass on how to do all of those things. And we are going to do our best to break it down on how you can not only implement in your life, but more importantly, in real estate. So with me, I have the brilliant Jenna Swift, who is a marketing genius in our organization. And we're going to break down the masterclass and how we can apply it in real estate. So Jenna, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
So Jenna, let's kind of go over some of the things, some of the big takeaways, and let's future pace for everyone. Let's let them know what we're going to cover. What are some of the biggest takeaways we had? By the way, this is going to be a 2 or 3 part because there's so much, and we want to go very tactical with you guys so you can implement this in your business, have an understanding how what we're going to do, and also maybe give you guys some ideas that you can implement first. So, Jenna, we literally only watched the first 20, 25 minutes of it, and we had to stop because we were like an hour and a half in because we stopped and talked so much.
Yeah, we stopped every probably 2 minutes to talk about what he was talking about and how we can apply it. Yeah,
so with that being said, we're going to give you an behind the scenes look of kind of discussions that we had and ways that we're going to implement this in our real estate business, and hopefully you can too. One of the big takeaways that I had was, number one, every business follows a 3-step framework. Every single business, and it is so relevant for real estate. So we're going to break down that 3-step framework that every business follows and how real estate agents have it backwards. Real estate agents, if you just invert the process that you're usually doing, I promise you, you will have way better leads, way more leads, easier conversion rates, and higher conversion rates. And I know which always leads to more closings, which we all want, right? Yeah. So we're going to break down that process. And then he also broke down on how to create an amazing offer, which we're going to talk about, but how to create that offer into creating more leads. And I think real estate agents, we all want more leads, especially in this marketplace. And so we're going to cover a 4-step framework of different ways you can create leads, you can convert leads, etc. Is there anything else that really stood out to you, Jenna?
And the big thing, you kind of hit the nail on the head with real estate agents. I think about the quote, the jack of all trades and master of none. Real estate agents, you're great at selling real estate. There are people out there who are experts in marketing, and we can have so much to learn from them and let them to help them, have them help us to create those marketing plans. So you don't have to do it all by yourself. You don't have to fight that battle alone. There are people out there who can help you.
That is so true. I mean, as an example, most people, real estate teams, when I started a team, like it was just oh, that's never going to work. And now it's just normal, right? Teams are the most common thing in real estate. And it's because of just that. It's leverage. It allows you to focus on what you're good at. And so as an example, I truly believe real estate agents, I love all of you, but most of us suck at marketing. It's just not our expertise. We're just not good at it. What if we could take a master class from someone with Alex Hormozi's brilliance and implement that to create a better offer in marketing, which ultimately creates more leads, more hand raisers, and more closings for our business. So if marketing is something you feel like you want to improve or you can improve, which let's be honest, all of us can, this is going to be valuable for you.
Absolutely.
So Jenna, let's start with the 3-step framework that every business has. The first is, and again, real estate agents, we have it backwards. So this is the framework that Alex Hormozi broke down. Number one, you have to have an offer. You have something, a product or a service that you offer to the client, consumer, public, etc. You have an offer. That's number one. Number two is you have to create leads for that offer. So you have to create hand raisers, create people that are interested in your product or your service. And number three is you have sales. You have to sell to those leads that offer that product, that service. Sounds very, very simple. Everyone would agree. Every single business that's ever been invented follows that framework. Offer, leads, sales.
Yep.
You're selling something or you don't have a business. Real estate agents, how do we have it backwards? What do we focus on first? Focus on the sales. Mm-hmm. How do we have more closings? That's where we start at the end, which I get it. Without closings, you don't have money, right? So that's why we start there. I totally understand it. But I want to challenge you to think differently. And what if we inverted this? So as an example, here, let me take you through a little bit of how my brain processed this. If we're focused on the closings and we're a real estate agent, we're struggling, we don't have enough closings, what do we need more of? We need more leads, right? That's where we focus. Well, I need more leads. And how many real estate agents have you heard say, well, these leads suck? Well, this lead didn't answer the phone. This lead didn't convert. They don't want to buy. What if, instead of focusing on sales first, lead second, and probably most agents not even having an offer, what if we focused on the offer first? Mm-hmm. As an example, if I were to ask you as a real estate agent right now, you're in an elevator with a seller that is a whatever your market, it's a luxury property that says, you know what, you're a real estate agent, I want to sell my house. You have 30 seconds till I get to my floor. Why should I use you? What would you say? Challenge you. Let's have awkward silence. What would you say? Think about it. Process. And realize how much you would fumble all over your words. You would not know what to say because we don't have an elevator pitch. I truly believe it's because we have not processed, and this is new to me. So I was one of those. Now we have offers. We have irresistible offers that we've created. We have unique selling propositions. We have things that make us stand out. Used to, if you asked me that question, and I'm be willing, if some of you went through and played this exercise with me, you would say things like, well, I'm honest. I work hard. I have integrity. I have a proven track record. I've sold a lot of property, right? Any of those things. As a matter of fact, I did this at a mastermind I was at in Phoenix just this week. And those were the offers that I got. Or those were the answers that I got to the, what do you have to offer, right? And it was interesting. At the third mastermind that I was a part of, someone answered differently. And someone gave me, everyone else said all those things. They said, awesome. I kept fishing for more. And one lady stood up and said, I can't remember what it was, but it was an offer of some sort that made her stand out. It was like, well, if I don't sell your house in this amount of days, this happens. I'm like, how many homes do you sell per year? She's like, well, this year we've sold, I don't know what it was, a couple hundred. I said, awesome. Who else in this room has sold over a couple hundred houses in a year? No one raised their hand. I said, do you know why she sells a couple hundred and you don't? She focuses on her offer. Mm-hmm. The only time I've asked that question, literally that's a goosebump moment, because there's the only time that I've asked that question and got that answer is from people that perform at a very, very high level, because they understand the importance of the offer. Too many times we focus on the leads, we focus on the sales, and we don't focus on what we have to offer them. Think about it. If our offer stands out and people, if we have an honest answer that we truly believe in, above and beyond, we're honest, we have integrity, we work hard. In real estate, guys, we are privileged to be able to help people with the biggest purchase or sale of their life every single day. You should be honest. You should act with integrity. You should work hard. You should sell real estate. Those should be the baseline. If you don't have those things, you shouldn't be in the damn business.
Yeah, it's what your clients deserve at the end
That's
of the
right.
day. Yeah.
But we use that as, that puts us on a pedestal. That makes us stand out. Maybe it does. But that's what the client should expect. Mm-hmm. And so we have to exceed their expectations. So those should be the baseline regardless. Now, what if we can build an offer on top of that and make you stand out? If we had an offer above and beyond that, if you had an offer above and beyond that, that was a great elevator pitch that was, as an example, this is from Alex Hormozy. What makes a good offer? Jenna, do you remember his quote? Create an offer so good.
Oh, people, oh man, create an offer so good, people feel stupid to not work with you or buy from you.
Yep, create an offer so good, people feel stupid saying no. Mm-hmm. How many times in sales do we try to convince people to say yes? We're playing the wrong game. You know what people at the elite levels game they're playing? They're creating an offer so good, people feel stupid saying no. We're not trying to convince people to say yes. Mm-hmm. Our offer is so damn good that they feel stupid to say no to it.
Yeah.
But it has to be bold. It has to have, here's what makes a good offer. Number one, it has to be irresistible. They have to feel stupid saying no. Number two, it has to have risk reversal. What is the perceived risk of the client, of the seller, of the buyer, of the community, of the product, of the service that you sell? There's always risk involved. Mm-hmm. What if you could create an offer that reverses that risk and puts that risk on you as the business? And I know I will have skeptics that say, well, Matt, I just not in a place in my business where I can do that. Then get out of the damn business or join someone that can. Your client freaking deserves it. So you have to have, why are you putting the risk on them? Mm-hmm. It just doesn't make any sense, right? Like if they have a concern, our job as entrepreneurs, as business owners, as real estate agents, as salespeople is to solve their problem. So quit saying, well, that's their problem and that's their problem. No, it's our job to solve their problems. So reverse that risk.
Yeah, I mean, you're thinking about the objections you're going to hear,
yes.
right? You're thinking about, okay, if I say, hey, I want you to buy a home from me, and they say, okay, well, I want to, but interest rates, or I want to, but this. Think about those buts, those and buts, and then build your offers around
yeah buts,
those
right?
Yeah buts, yeah. Build those around it, because that's what's going to give, I mean, it gives them no option but to say, you're like, well, I've thought of that. I've thought of the interest rate thing. What about this 2-1 buy down program that we have with one of our trusted lenders? Yep. You know, you're thinking about things in advance.
Well, I think that's so like, one of the things that, and I spoke on this a little bit, I wish I would have listened to Hermosi before I presented this in Calgary, because the next time I present it will be way better, because it was just, again, a masterclass. I learned so much. But one of the things I talked about was, what if you actually recorded every objection that you got? And you had instead of guessing what the consumer was saying, what if you kept record of every time you had a valid conversation, a two-way conversation with a buyer or seller, and they did not buy, sell, or agree to an appointment? Mm-hmm. Quit trying to overcomplicate objections. What was the reason they didn't say yes? Now, what if you have a common theme that you do that for 3 months and you have a list of 100 things? Mm-hmm. I'd be willing to bet there's three to five of those that stand out, that is common among most of them. What if you could solve those problems in advance? What if you could reverse that risk, and you could educate, you could inform, you could provide a solution to whatever that objection or that problem is?
Yeah.
You solve that problem for all those people. Mm-hmm. We overcomplicate it, right? Well, what is our offer? And it sounds too salesy. It sounds too this. I'm not saying your offer has to be something that sounds like a fly-by-night company. Like honestly, personally, I can't fucking stand those. I can't stand it. We have, I'm probably going to catch some heat for saying this, but fuck it. It's how I feel. It's my podcast. If you don't like it, don't listen. But there are companies that I know of that have advertised, if I don't sell your home, I will buy it. That have bought zero freaking companies. They've advertised for 10 years. Mm-hmm. That's gotchas to the consumer. That eliminates trust. And that's what most people think an offer has to be. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of business owners, and I hope this speaks to you. If you're listening to this, you have integrity and you don't want to go down that path, that's not what I'm asking you to do. You can create offers of things that you actually already do for the consumer, and you can create a package around it to just educate and inform and communicate that package. Put a nice little bow on it so they know that you offer that package. There are things that we do each and every day in this business that the consumer doesn't fully understand because they're not in the business. Mm-hmm. Here's a real life example. If you're struggling right now and you're like, I need an offer, what should be an offer? Let me give you an easy one. Most people would agree. Let's say that someone wants to sell their house with you and they want to sell their home, and it's because they have a job opportunity in another state. Right? We've all had that happen. Mm-hmm. Well, they list the home with you. 2 weeks later, something happens. The job falls through and they call you. And they say, hey, Jenna, I appreciate you putting the house on the market. Unfortunately, I got some bad news. We're no longer moving. Something happened with the job. We're not moving, so we need to take our house off the market. Most real estate agents will say, no problem. Completely understand. I'll come by to get my sign. Let me know if I can do anything to help. Right? Mm-hmm. Most people just cancel that agreement. No questions asked. Mm-hmm. Life happens. We don't want to hold people hostage. Now, if you're one of the people that hold them hostage, I'm probably not the guy you should follow because I like people with integrity. Mm-hmm. But, God, I hate it when I just go too far. Sorry. But it's real. It's how I feel, right? If you're not willing to let someone out of the contract, like here's questions I've got when I've presented that to people is like, well, don't you charge them a cancellation fee? Nope. I don't believe in it. I don't want to work with people who don't want to work with me. Mm-hmm. And life happens to all of us. So yes, did I have money invested in the photos? Yep. Did I have time invested in meeting with them? Yep. Did I have time invested and money invested in showing the property, doing whatever it may have happened? Absolutely, I did. But their life changed. They're going through enough because the job offer just canceled. I don't need to add to that stress to them.
Right.
I want to help them. Now, what positive word of mouth if I stand out and I'm like, you know what? I completely understand, Jenna. I'm so sorry the job offer fell through. Is there anything that I can do for you? And just be above and beyond service, not about how am I going to get reimbursed? How many referrals is that person going to send me? Because I stand out, because I care, right? And so I believe in playing the long game. Anyway, off of my high horse on integrity. Most people act that way, right? Most people understand that. And so if you are in alignment with that, what if you could advertise something and call it a cancellation guarantee? I don't believe in contracts. I believe in accountability. And at any time I'm not holding up my end of the bargain, we can cancel our agreement at any time. Most people offer that. That scenario, most people would do that. But have you created a package around that? Are you advertising around that? Are your agents, are you talking to clients about that makes you stand out? Because that reverses the risk of how many people have we talked to. I talk to agents all the time still. It used to be way worse before I got in the business. But I talk to agents all the time that talk to other sellers that said, well, I don't want to sign a contract because I don't want to be trapped. I don't want to trap people. So I'm going to reverse that risk. I'm going to hold myself accountable.
Yeah.
And at any time you're not happy, you can cancel. Matt, that's crazy. You're reversing the risk. You're putting it all on yourself. I need to freaking deliver. Yeah. And if I don't deliver, or let's say that we're not a good personality fit. Me and Jenna as the seller and me and her just don't get along. Do I want to work with someone I don't get along with? I don't want to. And so I just think it makes so much sense. But that's an example of how you can think about all of this risk, all of these things that are objections that clients have, and how you can create a package out of it, create an offer out of that to create more hand raisers and higher quality leads.
Yeah. I think with the thinking about the objections, and then also I think what you're talking about is stop assuming. Stop assuming your clients know those things. Because I think when you're somebody with integrity, you are assuming that everyone else does the same thing. You have to stop assuming those things, and you have to start seeing that as a unique thing about yourself and promote it. Like, that's a unique thing to you. It feels like, well, of course I do that. Everyone does that. That's a big deal. Your clients don't know that, though. Like you said, they're not in the business every day. You are. It's our responsibility to share with them why you're different, why you're unique.
So good. I agree with you and I disagree. I agree with everything you said, except for you said you shouldn't assume. I think you should assume. I think you should assume that nobody knows anything. Treat them all like they don't know. As an example, I was talking to my good friend, John Cheplack, about this masterclass, and he said what really stood out to him was that he spoke to everyone at the same time, and he broke things down on a second grade level. How many times do we talk over our audience? My good buddy Preston Guyton made a post on this morning, and he said how he ended his post was sometimes you don't understand how much knowledge you have and how it can impact others, was like the frame of the message. And he ended it with, because sometimes your average is excellence to someone else. Because we are in it every single day. As an example, in real estate, we have the ability of being in this business each and every day. And so what is average to us, a consumer may not understand that to the level that they should. And so it is our job to break it down so that they can understand it. So I talked about risk reversal. There's another key component of an offer before I go too far, and that is perceived value. So what are the important components of an offer? Number one, a risk reversal. Put the risk on yourself, not on the client. Number two, the perceived value has to be through the roof. The value they feel or they perceive is way more important than the value you provide. Let me say that again. The value they perceive is way more important than the value you provide. How they interpret what your value is way more important than the value itself. And so make sure that you articulate that value. It goes back to one of my favorite quotes. Value unarticulated is value unappreciated. If you want them to appreciate and understand the value, you have to articulate it in a way, in a fashion that they actually understand it and they perceive it as a high value item. It's so important. So it goes back to don't talk over your audience. Talk with your audience, not over them.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't have to have fancy words. None of that. Just position it and package it to where people understand it and they understand how it solves a problem for themselves.
Yeah. Break it down and then break it down again and then walk away from it and then come back to it and break it down further.
Yes.
Just continue. That's something that is just astounding to me with Alex Hormozy and how simple. Anybody can understand it. You do not have to have a degree in marketing. You do not have to have this high level intellect to understand what he's saying. He meets you right where you're at.
So very well said. And I think a lot of us can learn that in real estate. So as an example, myself, here's what I took away from that is sometimes I struggle. How do I deliver it to the masses? Mm-hmm. I need to talk to first-time home buyers. I need to talk to investors. I need to talk to people that have sold 10 homes. I need to talk to someone that's never sold a house before. How do I do that? Well, if you go back and watch Alex Hormozy's, he talked to someone that's making their first business. Mm-hmm. Someone that's going to make their first $10,000 a month. Someone's going to make their first $100,000 a month. Someone's going to make their first $1 million a month. Mm-hmm. He had all of those audiences. Over 500,000 people were present and nobody left. Mm-hmm. There is a way to do it, but it starts with keeping it simple and don't talk over those people. A lot of people may say, well, if you're talking to the business owner that just started, you're going to lose the people trying to get $1 million a month. Not the way that he did it and demonstrated it. Mm-hmm. Check out his modeling and duplicate it. There's a lot of lessons to learn there. But I think it's so important that we keep it simple.
Yeah. He even identified his audience right off the bat. Yep. Like he said, I'm talking to two people who need to put their oxygen masks on themselves and people who are ready to pay it forward. Like right off the bat, he's like, I'm identifying exactly who I'm speaking to because every single person, there were probably, I think 200,000 people
There's
on
500,000.
500,000. All of those people fit into those two buckets,
yes.
Either one or the other. Every single person did. Like you said, either the person looking to fingers crossed for their first $100, all the way to the people who are like ready to make $100,000, $100 million. You fit in one of those two buckets. He nailed it right off the bat.
Yeah. So I want to finish with this is that the offer on the offer stuff, and we'll go to the leads, is the offer has to be strong. If the offer is strong, it makes the leads easier. You create more leads, and they're higher intent leads. Mm-hmm. Like if I were to ask real estate agents, if I were to pose and frame a question, would you like raise your hand if you want higher quality leads that are ready to transact sooner? Everyone would raise their hand. Mm-hmm. Raise your hand if you want more of those leads. Everyone raise their hands. You have to focus on your offer and how you demonstrate the value you bring. It creates both of those.
Yeah.
As an example, his offer. I believe in the law of reciprocity. Go look at Alex Hormozy over the last 4 years. He has blown up. And you know what he sold over the last 4 years? He sold one thing. It was a book for $1.99.
Yeah.
Talk about giving and giving and giving and giving. And if you're watching this and you're a lifelong learner like myself, this is not the first time you've heard of Alex Hormozy. You've taken something from him. By the way, all these Instagram reels and all these edits that you see, how many ads, if you're a marketer, have you seen that say, hey, I'll edit your ads Hormozy style? He laid the framework for it, and he's deposited and deposited and deposited and deposited, and that's why 500,000 people showed up and broke the internet for his book launch. Mm-hmm. It's because his offer was so good. All right. I think we nailed the offer.
Yeah, I think so.
All right. So the importance of an offer. Now let's go to the next part. Leads. Mm-hmm. How do you use that offer to create leads? How did Alex Hormozy use that offer to create 500,000 leads that showed up and stayed for an hour and a half? When's the last time any of you stayed and didn't leave for an hour and a half Zoom? Didn't leave early. Right? Yeah. We live in a busy world. 500,000 people stayed on for an hour and a half. Mm-hmm. Because it was such a masterclass, because of the reciprocity, because of the deposits that he's done. Not only did it create all these hand raisers, but those hand raisers were ready to buy his product. I was talking to John Cheplack, and he literally said, I wish he would have sold me sooner. I got my credit card out 15 minutes in and said, all right, what's he selling? Mm-hmm. I'm buying. I don't care what it costs, what it is, I'm buying it. Because of that, imagine if your buyers and sellers acted that way. Mm-hmm. You deposited so much value into their lives that they felt obligated and they had their checkbook out and being like, oh, you only charge 7%? Why not 10? Can you apply that much value to your database? I think that you can, but your offer has to stand out. You have to be better. So let's talk about leads. Jenna, We talked about there's 4 ways to create leads, right? We use this in our business, but I think he broke it down masterfully. Would you like to talk about those 4 things?
Yeah, he simplified it like he does everything, ultra simplified. So there's the warm outreach. That's the one-to-one, which is people you know. So that looks like you're reaching out via email. Your sphere of influence would be a great one for that. Voicemails, physical mails. He even says it could even be carrier pigeons, whatever you need it to be. But that's what that one looks like. There's also social outreach, which is one to many. That's the people that you know. So that's looking like posting on social media, your organic social media posts, your reels, your videos, your all of that kind of stuff, posting high value content, and using that framework, that hook, retain, reward framework. And then the next one is that one.
Say that again. What's that framework?
Hook, retain, reward.
You guys should write that down. Every marketing piece needs to go around those 3 things.
Yes. And I've heard so many marketing people talk about this framework, and usually there's like 6 elements to it. So the fact that he, again, simplifies it down to 3: hook, retain, reward. It's simple. It's easy to remember.
Let me jump in there before you get to the other 2. How many people, including ourselves, we had a long discussion internally about this exact framework? We got the hook. We understand. The retention is something we're always working on. We're at least aware of. But how many times do we, when I say we, those listening as well, how many times do we do the hook? We try to retain them. And at the end, the last thing we do is we have an ask. We ask them for something versus rewarding them with something. We need to flip that.
Yeah.
Quit asking for things and reward them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, whatever you're asking them is going to bring value to them. Hopefully, that's what the purpose is. So reward them with it.
Yep, 100%.
The next one would be running paid ads. So that's one to many, and they're people that you don't know. So this would be all of your paid advertising, Facebook, TikTok, Google pay-per-click. There's so many different advertising routes you can take. But there was one thing he said that I loved, because I'm sure if you're on here, if you've looked at anything marketing, you've been targeted with a million gazillion ads, and every single person is telling you how complicated advertising is. It's so difficult, and that's why you should hire me. And Alex Hormozi was just point blank said that ads sound complicated because they're not understanding them well enough. That it's not that complicated because they don't understand it. That's why they're making it sound that way.
It's either that they don't understand it fully, or they're trying to sell you something and they need to sound complicated to sell you something.
Exactly. But it can be done yourself, and he breaks it down in a way that you can do it yourself. It's totally possible for you. And then the last one is that cold outreach, which is one-to-one strangers. So that's your cold calling, your door knocking, stuff like that.
So to break that back down, there's 4 ways. What are we calling it? The 4 ways to...
4 ways to get leads.
4 ways to create leads. So you have 4 ways to do that, but you also have 2 different audiences. You have people that you know, and you have people that you don't know. So people you know, and you have strangers. And so warm outreach is a one-to-one concept to people that you know. And by the way, in real estate, you do very, very little of the one-to-one to strangers. You may consider a lead a stranger. That is not cold. That is warm. You will never convince me otherwise. Why else did they raise their hand? Did they inquire about a property? That is warm. That is not cold. Now, if you're going through the yellow pages and you're calling people one by one, that's a cold list, right? That's the difference. So it's warm outreach. That's where most of our business comes from in real estate. If you're a prospecting real estate agent, which you should be, especially in today's marketplace, that's where most of it comes. So it's one-to-one to people that you know. Number 2 is social outreach. So social media post. Those are people that you know on your social media. This is not the ads. This is just organic post. That is one to many. We all probably do this. We can probably do it better, but there's ways that you can demonstrate your proof of success. There's difference in posts. There's a lead post there. There's also value post. And I'll be willing to bet most of you have too many lead posts and not enough value posts. Give and give and give. And then people feel obligated to give back. And then let's see. The other 2 are to strangers. So there's one to many and one-to-one to strangers. So one to many on strangers is running paid ads, which we can totally break down in another episode and go super in depth on. And then there's cold outreach. So cold outreach will be actual cold calling, door knocking, etc. Right? But those are the 4 ways that you create leads. And what I loved about this class is that he broke down each of those and said, I used each of these. And how many of you are here because of this? How many are here because of that? How many are here? And he broke down how many people were there because of each of these that he actually demonstrated and modeled to get 500,000 people there. All right, guys. Well, we're out of time. There will be more on this. Just remember, we have it backwards. Real estate agents, we suck at marketing, and we got to get better. So if you're focused on sales, which you should be, you need to make sales. You also need to focus on, yes, leads, but if you want to create higher quality leads and more leads, which are easier to convert to sales, you have to know your offer. So it starts with the offer. What makes you stand out? Why should someone use you?
Well, I want to circle back with copywriting, because I think with it being such a big theme, giving the listeners and stuff some tactical stuff so you guys can implement it too. The biggest stuff is keep it simple, write like you talk. Don't try to gussy it up. I like to do that. Don't be like Jenna.
Yeah, Jenna has her own verb. I call it Jennify. Don't
Yes,
Jennify it. It doesn't need to be Jennified all the time.
it's jazzed. But keep it simple. Talk, write like you talk. Focus on your hook. Tell a story. That's your big connection. And then the big thing is, it's kind of, I think Gary Vee says that it's the jab, 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 right hook.
Yep.
Value, 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 then ask. If all you're doing is asking all the time, you're drowning people out. They're not going to listen. You've got to provide value, like what we've talked about this whole time so far. Contribute, like you have to contribute back, give them value, and then you can ask for something.
You have to be willing to also go against society's normal of instant gratification and realize that these things have a delayed gratification effect. Let me give you I'll just be very transparent. This podcast, I spend a lot of time, a lot of resource, and a little bit of money to provide this value and content for over 2 years now. I'm not asked for anything in return. For the first 2 years, I didn't get much in return. But over time, we've got I don't know, we'd have to check, but 40,000 plus downloads. I had so many people come up to me at this event, and people reach out every week thanking me for something, right? It's just selfishly, I love giving, right? It's weird. But I'm addicted to helping more people, which is, I have addictive personality. I could be addicted to way worse, right? So I love it. But the point being is there's a stat out there. I don't know the numbers, but it's an overwhelming. I think it's over 90% of podcasts don't make it past 3 episodes. Right? And how many of you will make and let's apply that to now. And I say this humbly, and I'm so blessed. I'm at a spot where I'm turning coaching clients away because I just don't have the capacity. And I'm blessed to have that, right? But if I were to ask all of my coaching clients, hey, what made you pull the trigger? It's either the Cheplack community and the value they provided or the content that I've provided. That's it. And it all works itself out over time. And so how can we apply that to what Jenna's talking about in copywriting? Don't make one post for a week and be like, oh, it only got 2 likes. I'm going to give up. You have to do this consistently over time. And I'll let you in on a secret too. There are people watching you that aren't liking your post. I remember specifically at this event, someone came up to me and thanked me for a post that I made because it really, really helped impact them. I went back and looked, it had 8 likes, and they weren't one of them. So we assume they didn't see it. But that's not the reality, right? People are busy. By the way, you should start liking all the people that you are following to giving contributions because it helps more people see it and it encourages them to give back at a higher level. And by the way, they'll start seeing your stuff more. Anyway, algorithm stuff for later. But that's how you can contribute to those contribute to you, by the way. Anyway, the point being is we give up way too soon. You have to practice. You have to have the discipline to practice delayed gratification. And let's be honest, if you're doing a podcast, if you're doing a post to get likes, to get people to buy something, it's probably not going to work anyway. Don't get me wrong, I'm in a for-profit business and I'm a capitalist. I want you all to, I think everyone should have more money. So I'm not against money. Money's not evil. All that, I'm not any of that, right? But you have to make sure that you are doing things for the right reason with contribution in mind. Not, hey, I'm going to do this because I'm going to make a lot of money doing it. You have to go deeper than that, and you have to contribute and realize that it takes time. Don't give up too soon.
Yeah, I think one thing I remember Chet Black saying was that you can expect 50% of your marketing to work and 50% of it to not work. Because marketing is it's trying things and seeing it didn't work. Okay, let's try it
Yep.
this way. It's data driven. You're looking at the analytics of things. You're seeing what people are responding to, and you're shifting and you're making little tiny adjustments. But 50% of it's just not going to work. But you're not going to know what works, what 50% is going to work if you just don't do it and you give up because something didn't work.
100%. I'm gonna add something else to that. Andy Frisella, who's someone else I follow and has helped me learn a lot and been a big contributor in my life. He's an extremist, right? But I love him for it. I'm gonna paraphrase something that he says, and the lesson I've learned from him is 50% of people are gonna love you and 50% of people are gonna hate you. Fuck the 50% that are gonna hate you. Who cares? Quit trying to make people happy that don't want to be happy. Quit trying to get people to like your message that aren't going to like your message. If they're not in alignment, spend your time, your energy, your focus on the people that are in alignment with you, that are like, find your audience, find your tribe by being authentic and genuine and being authentically you. And you do it consistently over time, giving to give, writing how you speak, talking how you talk. Like, you will attract the right people over time. And if there's people, maybe that's an extremist, right? Not everybody's going to hate you that doesn't like you, right? It's okay to disagree with people in today's society. Newsflash. You can actually disagree with people and still have respect and like them. It's crazy, I know, but you can. Anyway, the point being is, like, you quit trying to make everyone like you. Like, they're not going to, and that's okay. You're not for everyone. I'm not for everyone. That's fine. But the people that do follow my message and that do align with it, I want to do everything in my power to give them as much value as I possibly can. And I think if you just think with that mindset, it will really, really have an impact on your influence in whatever leadership capacity or lesson or value or whatever it is that you're working through. Because copyright can help you sell more real estate, can help you get more listings, can help you get more buyers, can help you get more recruits, can help you get more coaching clients, can help your business grow, can help your social media grow, you name it. Copywriting can do all of that. Email can do all of that. But you have to give to give. One of the things that Jenna said, you have to write like you talk. I'm going to give you a pro tip for those of you that are struggling with that. There's all kinds of technology out there now. So come up with like bullet points or a topic or something that you want to write to your audience about. And if you struggle writing, pick up your phone, either do a voice memo or probably do a video would be best. Do a video and then transcribe the video. Now you have two pieces of content from the same thing. You have a video talking about the thing, and then you want to write like you want to write like you speak. Transcribe the video with AI that will transcribe exactly what you said, make adjustments in grammar, etc. But that's how you talk. Now write that way. So if you're struggling with like writer's block or writer's cramp, over time it'll get better and your writing will help your videos improve. And so you can play off of each other there. But if you're struggling to get started, just talk and then take the things that you said and turn them into writing.
Absolutely.
Cool. Let's get to some tactical stuff.
Aye, aye, Captain.